All right. Um, get this started. I think I have just the track for this. Give me just a moment. When the airship known as the Wave Sweeper arrived on the southern coast of Arvale, it was a historic moment. It was the first time since the dissolution of the Avalonian Empire that an airship could fly such great distances, having come all the way from the distant Coterie coast and the island of Port Valiant. But that historic moment was shrouded by another. For the airship, greatest one built in centuries, would not reach Arvale. In an act of sabotage, it blew up just before arriving.
Nope.
Hello?
No.
Oof, every time.
Oh,
Did that happen for everyone?
just
Probably.
you.
Okay, I was gonna say, because you cut out and I didn't hear the last, 3 minutes, probably, that you were talking.
Of course, I had a feeling the storm was gonna fuck with my connection pretty bad today.
Dog kid. Just brings back memories.
Mm-hmm.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Do you want? I can.
Just before. Where did it cut off for you? Just so that I know.
Just the sabotage.
Oh,
We didn't make it
perfect.
to Abel.
Yeah, I think right when it said the ship would make it to
In an
Arvale.
act of sabotage, it blew up just before arriving. Within the sight of the city of Sainte-Rumière, it crashed from above the clouds. An event that should have killed everyone involved instead marked the heroic arrival of the adventuring group called the Stars and Seas Society, and the party known as the Paradoxes, who lead it. The Paradoxes made quick allies of the royal crown by escorting Princess Jacqueline to the Garden Palace in this capital city of Hearthvine. They made news again soon after, unveiling a secret tomb hidden beneath Hearthvine Hospital. And once more, when they faced off against the terrorist group called Vox, saving thousands of lives and escaping the destruction of Griffin's Perch. These heroics have drawn the attention of groups both good and evil, powerful and meek. With so many pieces moving in such an unfamiliar game, the heroes have had little time to pursue their original reason for traveling to such a distant land. But how does one catch an uncatchable thief? Leads on the infamous Black Lily have fallen to the wayside, especially in recent days, as your attention has been drawn to the upcoming Queen's Ball. I think I got my music almost set here. It would be under that. Night has fallen on Hearthvine, and there's magic in the air. It's in the streets as well. It pops and fizzles and sparks with prestidigitation as you look out the window of your Strauss-mobile on the trip to the Garden Palace. The city is celebrating the arrival of a new year. In the passenger seat beside you, an armored robot sits with a screen built into their chest. It flickers on, and you see a blue top hat come into frame. Aha, there we are. Of course. I never had any doubt at all, for I am Clementine, the Arvet. Oh, you're here, minions. Fantastic. Coming through clearly. Taps on the screen.
Someone just nods.
The robot shifts in the seat, taking up 2 spaces on these long benches. You're all currently gathered inside of a Strauss-mobile whose interior is much longer than the outside would imply. There's a solid sense of deja vu being inside of this vehicle, but you're not quite sure why. You've never been in a vehicle like this before. It's gonna be a long jaunt, and as she taps on it, she clears her throat once more and says, oh, good. I am communicating to you from within the tower. In approximately 23 minutes, allowing for a hell's rotation and a few dings to the old chronometer, the fizzes out for a little bit as it gets interruption from that fourth wall breaking joke, and as it fizzes back in again, she's leaning back away from the frame, and she says, you'll be arriving at the center of the conspiracy. Yeah, that is why I believe I might be of assistance. Again, though, perhaps it's been some time since I've attended a party. You see as your companion, Frederick, steps into view on the other side of the screen, looking a little nervous as usual, and then flustered as he's quickly ushered out of frame by the top hat wearing Arvalian alchemist. I must suggest that if you bring some of your companions with you, that they number no more than 2. In the den of malfeasance, if things go wrong, I can only offer a quick escape for your party, plus 2 more. So choose wisely. The screen buzzes away for a moment, and you see as the as the screen disconnects, the robot turns in its seat next to you, and Sir Richard Garrington informs you that once you've decided who you'd like to go with you, they'll be able to be transported instantaneously into this Strauss-mobile with you. You're all dressed to the nines. You had wardrobes picked out a week in advance for this, as Prince had gallivanted into your lives, took in measurements, and then told you exactly what your image was going to be for the big night. And pressed upon you why it would be so important to not miss this. You would at least have to be there to say your due hellos to the Queen before making an exit. Unfortunately, that might spell a rather long night. And as you make your way through the city, you can see festivities are in full bloom. Fireworks are exploding in the sky. The vehicle has to stop a few times to let parades of people go through, so it's going to take you a bit to get there. Get comfortable, make your decisions, and there we go. The night is yours.
Hunter's probably braiding anybody's hair who wants to be braided. She's like really focused. But she's gonna glance over to when Frederick was talking and be like, I don't think his social anxiety is going to really help. So who do we have? You know what?
I mean, as you see, kind of like Zell, and it's kind of formal kind of Chinese outfit. He kind of sits up a little bit as his head is kind of leaning back. His kind of like hands on his thighs, he just crosses it, kind of looks to Horna. I mean, he seems to want to go, but I do worry about his anxiety, as you say. And we are meeting probably every important official here, so
Yeah.
Well, his anxiety is an issue. He might be the most well-connected amongst everybody. It's just who else do we bring if we bring Pedro?
Though, do you also think it may cause issue with the war going on? They may focus on him being from Yellow.
that is also my concern as well.
No, so I'm thinking familiarity with the region and who's willing to go with whatever punches they're going to be throwing out.
I mean, you know what my suggestion already? I say we bring Arthur. If anybody knows how to adapt to a situation and be shady when we need to be, he's our man.
Say for overall likability, yeah.
I think if for anybody, I think he's a good choice. At least one of them.
I mean, she knows the city like the back of her hand, so I feel like has the personality that everybody would find disarming.
It's I forgot. Is Fee ready? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of says the Hanu.
She's ready for almost anything, at any moment. I also saw her and we were like braiding each other's hair, so I think she knows.
Gotcha. I mean, that would be a combination of Arthur and Fee.
Then, again, who else might be a good fit?
I'm worried about bringing Gwen. I feel like Maya would want to be personable. And I'll be honest, I don't want to go anywhere with Cal.
That's-
Though I will if I have to.
He's not that bad.
I'm very certain Kelly would try to like fix something and then make it explode, which would be great. And I'm kind of actually want to see that, but she's also really busy right now, so I know better not to. Yeah,
I should work on a new vehicle right now.
yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I mean, we're talking about Arthur. He's a spy. Maya's also a spy, but she's not supposed to be here. So, if we bring Arthur in, he's gonna do some spy shit, and we can't stop that. Just let you guys know.
I mean, what's the problem stopping it?
Just
We
Just want everybody to
I
be
mean,
aware
yeah.
what information happens. I'm all excited to hear it, but I probably shouldn't know where the information came from because I'm really bad at lying about this stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed. Other wing, I guess this other option. No, you can around Gwen. Gwen will be, I feel like, would very much stand out.
I mean, that could
I mean,
work in our
especially-
favor, but if we have two stand-up people,
Yeah.
I'm just a little uneasy about that idea.
honestly, I feel like if she does speak, she might have like a memory reoccur too at the same time. So I'm trying to find at least some boundaries with everybody, but
Well, we definitely could. A few minutes, but definitely gotta make a decision. I said we bring Fee, at least. As you say, she's a good disarmer. And I think a lot of people won't be ready for her, especially the politicians and people who play, well, the court game. She is definitely a wild card.
Okay, so
I think we need that.
She specifically has peacemaking as one of her persuasion specialties.
Right?
so
Excellent.
Fee is the bright light that shines in everybody's eyes, which means Arthur can sneak around stealing secrets. I like this.
That's what I think
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I like it.
Get a little bit of a light and dark situation going on. I
Mm,
think we'll go in my favor.
okay.
Well then, is everybody for Fee and Arthur then?
I'm alright with that.
And I'm just gonna go out of character. Is Ember with us or Cactus with us? Before I say it.
Cack.
Cack. Let's make sure.
Cat is like eating some
then they'll-
hors d'oeuvres. Don't ask Cat. We have
And CAC, I think this isn't the first time you've seen Richard Garrington. It would be about the third time you've seen him. But he's still like a marvel of engineering. You're fairly certain you could make something like this someday, but not today. AKA, it was made by a higher level artificer.
Yeah.
Oh, Zell kind of turns to Cack. What do you think, Cack? Arthur and Fee with us then? In this party?
Cack will not look up from whatever book he's trying to read, because he sometimes seems to always have one on him, even when he's not supposed to, and he will just... yes, whatever.
Oh man, I missed this Cack. I love it.
CAC is still in possession of a certain tome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Should be noted.
Yes.
Yep. Whereas
Yep.
Zell's different now because he's a wizard, so he looks at that shit and he's like, that's right. Zell kind of nods his head at that and looks back down to everybody. And looks over to Leaf. What do you think, Leaf?
I'm cool with whatever. Anybody can come. I like all of you.
Getting the diamonds down.
Is
Someone
that
else
your
would like
final
to-
decision? The robot says.
Zell kind of looks around. Yes.
On the screen on his chest, you see as like little chibi versions of all of your companions suddenly like rotary past really fast until it like stops on the ones that's your allies, and they do like a little sprite dance like action, and then they step forward, and then it does another little rotary until it gets to the one that's your other allies. So you see a little Arthur sprite, and he takes his gun and he swirls it, does a little shoot motion with it, and then puts it behind his back and steps forward, and then you see the little sprite animation of Fee ride up on her little bicycle and jingle the bell, and then you see as a few moments later the seats at the far end that have been empty, there's a crackle of electricity around them, and then suddenly there's sitting in them both is Fee and Arthur. They both look completely confused. Arthur is got his hand on his gun, but stops and goes. "Hmm." And Fee goes, "We're going to the party?"
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
She gives an excited squeal and then laments that she isn't at all dressed for the Queen's ball. She's wearing her normal flower patterned dress, and Sir Richard Garrington pipes up and informs you that your compatriot Prince is already aware of this and his message, and you hear his voice come out of the robot. Well, I guess I can work a miracle. It is a night to celebrate after all. And with that, Fee, the message cuts off, and you guys are now left for the rest of the trip on the way there. And we're gonna have our first little foray into level up as I roll a random encounter for your vehicle traveling through the metropolis of Hearthvine. Give me just a second. I had it on the page, but it reset it, so I've got to find it again. Where?
Cat literally reading the Necronomicon.
Okay.
This could be useful.
Oh, there we go. I need to roll a D100. Come on. Maybe I'll just do it in a bot talk. Because I probably have to reload the page if it's not doing it on there.
Yeah, because it says you're logged out when I
Yeah,
listen
it's
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I gotta hit refresh. There we go. And that. Alright, you guys are gonna have some time before this pulls up, so feel free to RP more.
Once Fee is like in the room, it's her regular Hanu's energy is, you know, the tail wag of a dog, but they start doing like the full body tail wag once they see somebody. They're like, yeah, fuck yeah, Fizu. And then of course she'll ask if she wants her hair to be braided the Kudri Coast way.
She would say, of course, she hadn't had any time to do much with it, and so.
Alright.
So I'll kind of look over to the Zarman, kind of looking over the kind of suit he's wearing. You feel uncomfortable, brother?
But we have things we need to do.
Just remember, if you're getting into a topic that you feel uncomfortable with, just pretend that somebody very important is waving you down, so then you can leave the conversation.
That's one way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I use that strategy all the time.
Yep. Just like look over their shoulder and be like, "Oh, I have to go." Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It really does work.
Yeah. Take it from the
Oh, yeah.
Genasi. She can go anywhere in life.
That's what I like to think.
Surprised Prince found something to fit these, and then Zarman will, like, uncomfortably move the wing while he's in the car. It's like,
Man.
What is Leaf wearing again?
Whatever you
Yeah,
want.
whatever you want to be wearing. It's the
I thought that
it's the Queen's Ball. So you're currently wearing just it's nothing more than nobles' clothes as far as like inventory goes for it, but it can look however you want it to because it was all expenses, fancy material paid out by Prince.
Yeah, so it's more or less you choose what you want, and we're just saying it's Prince approved.
she's wearing bejeweled combat pants.
Hell yes!
Combat skirt. She pirouettes and might cut somebody because of how many diamonds on it. No,
Hell yeah!
it's like that fake diamond though.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it's like not tacky enough that Prince would be mad, but just like as tacky as his base level will allow.
Oh shit, that's pretty tacky.
One slick light hits you in a certain angle, you're just a disco ball. Whoa! Holy shit.
She's really excited about it.
Yeah.
And she can fly, so she's just gonna like fly up and reflect the light for everyone during.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm kind of like squinting his eyes a little bit, the reflection, looking away, so he doesn't get blinded.
Last night I was watching Umbrella Academy with my boyfriend, and they make a comment about a creative black tie wedding. And I'll never forget the term creative black tie. I think that applies.
You know, Zell's kind of just sitting back at that. He kind of just looks over to Arthur, kind of like look at him. So what were you up to while we're stuck in this car?
You know, I was about 2 beers in, but I guess I can go to the Queen's Ball. It's not like I have a life or anything. He seems a bit grumpy. Judging off of the way his attire and hair looks, it looks like he was actually like napping whenever he got teleported to here.
So kind of.
So what's the play? Is there a reason you needed to call him back up?
Well,
Were you
we always need a
expecting,
better.
assassins?
Well, you always seem to be the one to be around when we don't expect something to happen. Figured we'd save you the trouble.
Also, you can watch me, like, accidentally insult nobles in high definition. I learned that. I have no idea what that means, but it's gonna happen.
I accidentally insult people all the time.
Don't take much of a liking to me, so I have a feeling that as a rule, most of our group is gonna kind of rub most of the people there the wrong way. But I guess that's their problem, not ours, right?
Yeah. Honestly, it'd be not such the case. I was thinking that you're good at getting information when people want it. Yeah. I feel like we're gonna be much disrespectful
Well,
there. So.
you don't need to be a savant to know that the Order of Asmodeus is definitely going to have operatives there. I'll keep an ear to the ground. See if I hear anything we don't already know.
Yeah. Probably any other factions, honestly. And since we aren't making a name for ourselves down here, I suspect probably other factions will vie for our attention.
You guys have only been at Hearthvine for what? A couple of months now at the most? And you're already starting to sound like politicians.
He kind of like, Zach kind of shrugs. Sage had a lot of books on culture, and always seems to be the thing that happens with fame. You get a lot of allies and a lot of enemies. Best to be ready.
Yeah, it must be hard being famous. I'm really glad you guys chose to bring me along, though. Can you imagine all the food that's gonna be there?
I know.
I'm gonna have to
right?
bring some back for Nan.
Yeah. And she's gonna like look around conspiratorially and just like there's a small pocket in her dress and she'll pull out like a few bags. I got some food bags. Ah,
She takes a couple of them.
yeah, just slips them back.
Well, actually, her Mr. Whiskers crawls out of her purse for a moment and takes them,
Yes.
and then goes back into her purse with them. Gives him a little pat on the head before he goes back in.
Like, I'm still slightly disappointed that I wasn't able to convince, Prince to have a dress that had, was a bag of holding, because I could fit so much food in there, but this is gonna work out. Old school. I have enough folds to hide enough food in there. Yeah.
You know the bag of holding becomes bland and unflavorable.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
He kind of like looks at you.
I think, you know what, that was actually a lie. I was actually trying to smuggle in some weapons, but good that I remember that you reminded me of the bag of holding thing. Not that I ever would smuggle in any weapons, she shifts eyes. Shit, I just said that out loud. Fuck.
Hanu, put the knife away.
Fine.
Hanu!
Okay, fine. Then she just, takes one of the daggers that she has, by her ankle out. It's fine.
He laughs.
And then she just waits a little bit longer, then
Oh,
takes
I
another
figured
dagger
it was-
out, and puts it down.
I'm not gonna be able to bring this thing in. And he puts his rifle off to the side. There's a little shelf where there's a bunch of glasses and drinks and stuff, a little mini bar section, and he just sets it on that shelf with those things. And starts to pour himself a drink as he pulls a knife out of his own boot and places it up on the table too.
Yeah. Then after a
Off
few
his-
good minutes, 10 minutes later, she quietly places a third dagger on there and just sits and just looks down at the floor. Just. Okay.
Yeah. Zell kind of does a little smirk with his as he kind of leans on his gauntlet, knowing that he can't take it off. But hey, it's a weapon if I need one. No one knows. As he kind of...
Anybody else here curious about what Prince is getting out of all of this? I mean, his outfits are not exactly my taste. No one can deny that they're expensive.
He's probably getting more money out of it than he's losing, if I had to guess.
What is that saying?
That guy knows how to make a deal.
Any
Doesn't
exposure is good exposure, so if we end up creating controversy, he gets more famous.
Yeah. I mean, we do. He kind of Zell kind of lifts up the part of the skirt portion of his clothing and kind of looks it over. It has the emblem fucking Prince on it. I think also for advertisements as well. Puts it back down. But if anything, no, publicity. I have no idea. Prince is a tricky character, to say the least. Don't know what he's quite thinking, honestly. But he seems to be on our side, so
Well, I guess we're fortunate in that. But I'm just saying, right now, let's not any of us be surprised if that changes one day. Can't trust somebody whose motivation is money. Who would pipe up and go, well, I don't know if that's his only motivation. I mean, he does have a lot of orphanages in the city. Just,
Don't know. Guess we started a whole businesses. It really wasn't for the money, it was for getting us ready to deal with the Order of Modius and setting stuff up.
I
So who knows?
also think he kinda, like, not secretly, but, like, low end of the list likes to, you know, cause nobles a little bit to be nervous and kind of poke fun at them. So, he just might be amused by our antics, if anything.
I can say that we've got a common ally in that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would explain why he wants to unleash you at the ball like this.
Thank you. I try very hard to be at my best. Just nods very wisely.
God just chuckles at that.
I have a list that I looked over, which means I'm going to probably disregard 75% of the things I shouldn't say. Puts it where she has her daggers. But I mean, I will be on my best behavior as much as I can be. Though, if I do, you know, you guys know the sign. If I am about to get into a verbal spat, just drag me out. Drag me out right before. I can get very passionate, so it's best not to step on any toes right now. But oh boy, am I gonna frickin' step on some toes if I need to.
I never step on people's toes because I'm usually not walking.
Yeah.
You can avoid it in the air.
So you can say, not kick people in the face. Huh?
Well, unless you feel like it. Sometimes it's funny.
See? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also, does anybody hear what's going on outside?
Yes.
Your vehicle has been stopped for a moment. Thought it was maybe a parade, but as you're kind of looking out the window, you can see that there was a protest that was going on. A bunch of Vox supporters were out in the streets, and it looks like the guards have gotten kind of excessive with a group right in front of your vehicle, and it stopped your ability to be able to move. There's a squad of guards, about 5 of them out there, and they are roughly subduing this group of people with a mob kind of really mad about them. And as you look out, you see one of them slam this 14-year-old kid to the ground, much too roughly for what's a 14-year-old kid.
Okay.
These are fully outfitted guards.
Should we stop that? I really don't like what's going on.
You,
I feel like we should.
pauses, and you can kind of see close their eyes for a moment, and she goes, "If we don't, somebody else is going to pretty soon.
Okay.
You should step in."
She's gonna roll down the window, and since she has her holy symbols on her hand, she's going to whistle really loudly and cast command at, how many guards were there?
There's 5 of them, a whole squad of them.
Alright. She's gonna cast it on the ones who are, like, really rough housing people, and be like, "Hey, cult, stop!"
Let me see. Let me check this real quick. We have... Nope. the saving throw?
17. Is it? I think it might be wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. They are not proficient. It's not.
Right, it's yeah. So I think if I have 3 people, I think I cast it at 3rd level down.
I definitely failed that. Okay. As you hit stop on that, if you want to drag your tokens out onto the map, we can put them into an initiative. And roll for combat.
Gotcha.
I don't think I have. Like, I don't have a sheet made.
There should be one here. Let me see if I've got it with permissions for you. Give me a second. Beef.
I have all my
in it.
Oh.
to put.
Yeah, you can just hit the rolls for it manually in the meantime.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I have everything written. I just don't have it in
there are
there.
like a whole handful of you in this car, and there's like 5 guards outside. So let's see. Permissions configure. Sarah owner. If you look underneath the actors tab now, you should see a character sheet for Leaf that you can put your stuff in.
Got it.
And Anu, your initiative rolled. Anybody else?
I haven't rolled. We're rolling initiative.
Yep.
Okay. Is that just a D20?
Yeah, with your dex.
Yeah.
It would be plus. Yeah.
Plus dex. Okay, cool. Sorry.
All right.
I'm a mess, guys.
Okay. That's why we have session 0.5.
21.
Damn, Sarah! Nice.
Okay, shit. So I actually I don't have I don't have my actions written out entirely.
That's all
Or
right.
my equipment. So,
Currently, you could just say that you've got daggers on you because you guys weren't planning on being heavily equipped to go to this thing anyways.
I mean,
But
between
there
like
are-
the 3 fucking left on the inside bar, I mean, you know.
Yeah, exactly. There's some daggers laying on the bar that you can grab real quick.
yeah. Okay. Well, I do that. I don't know how to. The screen's all black for me, so I don't know where I would
Yeah,
put.
you'll just have to probably refresh and reload on it.
did you put your
But in
token
the
out?
meantime, it doesn't. It's fine because we're not leading with your character at the moment, anyways. It's a guard. Looking at them, you can tell that these people are these guards are much weaker than the enemies you're used to fighting. All right, it's not really a question of whether or not you'll be able to beat them in a fight. So a couple of you could easily stay in the car and leave it to the others to sort of subdue this. So unless Leaf felt like she really needed to step out and wanted to deal with an angry mob, she could probably feel comfortable leaving it to the other people while we help you sort out your character sheet stuff.
Yeah. I was just about to say, yeah. She's just too distracted. She doesn't even realize what's happening.
Arthur and Fee are also staying in the vehicle. We've got Zales, Armin, Hanu, Jack, you staying in the vehicle as well?
If it's just a bunch of guards, yes.
All right, yeah.
Jack will look up.
You see a
Kak will
Flare his nostrils.
Kak will cast Mage Hand and pat Honu on the back. Like, yes, you go get them.
There you go. Dale, starting, it's like dismounting from a mount to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah, he gets out just casually, kind of getting out, kind of taking in everything. The guards have. What do you say? They're halted right now, Sapphire?
Yeah, I've stopped.
Yep.
The ones that were, like, I had pinpointed that were really rough housing, she had commanded them to stop.
Gotcha.
Or if
Can I
anything,
see
she would've
where,
said
like, the
stand down,
captain would
so,
be? Yeah.
What was that?
Zell's looking for like the captain, whoever's in charge.
Looking at it, you can't tell if any of them were in charge. It
Yeah.
looks like this whole thing got out of hand.
Okay. Zell will kind of scurry around. He'll walk up to the 14-year-old kid and help him up. Hey, you okay?
He wipes a bit of blood off of his lip and nods, looking a little bit out of breath. That would have been your action and the remaining bit of your movement. I guess. What is it, the rules in Level Up for lifting somebody up? Is it a reaction or an...
It's a reaction.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you still have your action.
Yeah, Zell kind of looks to probably move him kind of out of the way since he is injured and he's out of breath. Zell will use the action to dash a little bit just to move further away so he can place the kid somewhere a little bit safer. Not in the thick of it.
Okay. Are you... you're not protected from opportunity attacks in any way, are you?
Uh,
You don't have like a feature that does that, right? Okay,
No.
cool. Didn't think so. Then one of the guards in the squad is going to attempt to an attack against you using their reaction. Give me a second. Oh, there's the one. Because half of them can't move right now. They won't be doing as much. Bloodied as a squad. So that would make it... We're probably not going to hit. Let's see. It's not actually a spear. I'm not changing the name right now, though. 16 does not hit.
Zell kind of ducks his head to the side as he feels the pain, feels the senses in the back, and kind of slowly, like, he turns around and gives them like a look at them, being like, "I'm not your enemy, and that's not gonna fix anything." As you keep walking with the kid away.
All right. Once you got him to the crowd, he disappears in with the rest of the crowd as they sort of swarm in around him to protect him. All right, and we've got a bonus action on your turn. Anything?
Nah, bonus action, he'll just kind of look around. He's not gonna pull out anything yet. He's gonna keep it calm as possible. As he just kind of turns around looking into what Hana's gonna do next.
Armin.
Hana and Zarman. Yeah, Zarman's gonna do next.
Zarman will get out of the vehicle. Then, as a bonus action, he will use a sorcery point for his power All Eyes on Me. For one sorcery point, every creature, no matter what kind of chaos is going on, within 6 feet can hear what he's about to say. Zarman will speak to the crowd. Back up, we will handle this.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion or intimidation. We'll say persuasion. Persuasion.
Would you say this is a leadership type of thing?
Yeah, this would apply.
So Zarman will get that. Third.
Yeah, they all look at each other and they all start like backing up. They form a much bigger circle around this area. The street is no longer crowded anymore as they've all pushed up onto the sidewalks.
Yeah, because as Zarman stepped out of the car, he expanded his wings and like an icy aura around him expanded out and the area got a little cooler and then everybody was able to hear what he said there.
Okay, yeah. Hell yeah. All right.
That was his action to do that check. Bonus action to do that. Okay. That will be Zarman's turn after he approaches one of the guards.
Okay. Anu, you're up.
Alright, she's gonna help pick up one of the other people who's down, or like, yeah, she's just gonna help escort somebody. If they're on the ground, she's gonna help pick them up, but she's gonna stay where she is and take the dodge action, but she's gonna just mumble to one of the protesters, you know, what's going on right now. I can't help you if you can't. If I don't know what caused this. And
Looking around, the people seem too riled. Try to focus in on what you're saying. Someone who did hear you as you escorted the person across, like nods a thank you to you, recognizing what you were doing. As they try to explain to you, it's really loud from all the people around. But they sort of just gesture to the signs, and you hear. Do you speak Elvish?
Yeah.
Okay. In Elvish, they say "eat the rich." And looking at the signs, you can see that it's a lot about protesting the Queen's Ball and the fact that there's banquets while there's war and, you know, shit like that, right? There's most of these people seem to be upset at the idea that there's a banquet of nobility going on, and that there's signs about open the Queen's Ball, or, you know, some of the signs have the Queen marked out and it says People's Ball, and one of them, and the more lewd one says, "You could choke on my Queen's Ball," and so there, yeah, that seems to be the general vibe of what's going on.
She's just gonna nod. Slightly approvingly, like, nice. It's looking, and then, yeah, she will, if she has enough movement, she would go back to help protect one of the other people, knowing that, after, oh, they could still, yeah, she's just gonna wait to see how the command is going, but she's gonna go next, move back to one of the people who need help, so that'll be her turn.
Okay, do they make that at the beginning or the end of their turn?
Well,
The saving throw.
let's see.
I think it happens during their turn, is how it works if they failed it.
Let me check, because it has been a while since I have used that. Do that. There we go.
So the one that you pretty much did was halt. The target remains where it is and takes no actions. Flying creatures that cannot move hovers the minimum. No distance need to remain aloft. So basically, they just pass their turn and the effect ends.
Okay.
Not concentration.
Alright.
Yeah, it's an instant effect. So for one round, they will do nothing.
Okay, gotcha.
And since they, since it's like a mob thing on it, things that normally like you upped it so that it could affect multiple people. So I'm bending it on this so that it lets you have it so that they're pretty much bloodied. So those half of them are still moving and doing things. They're just gonna not hit as hard as a result of it. Let's see.
But yeah, they have
Alright.
seen just two of us pick up other people and then seen Zarman push back the crowd. So what are they doing?
Yes. They're caught up in the heat of this moment still. They just saw some people flash some magic and step in, and they don't know who you are, but are seeing a couple of the people sort of stand around. So I'm going to roll a wisdom check to see whether or not they just attack out of instinct or instead go. "What should we
And
do?"
Zarman did approach the guards by the end of his turn as much as he could.
Mm-hmm. This is a. There it is. Oof. Yeah, again, not very wise, these ones. They are going to attack. You know, at, we'll say, Zarman's because he approached when the others kind of went towards the edges, and he has the big wings and his voice was able to be heard. Let's see. There's a 24 hit. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. I read the wrong one. That was the damage. Does a 16 hit?
Zarman will use his reaction to, as his wings cover in front of him, and then a little ice wall is what they hit instead.
Oh, shit.
As he
Sick.
cast shield.
Hell yes, that's awesome. Okay, nice. And that'll be their turn. I'll bring us to Zale.
Seeing that Sienna kind of sees like sees the kind of group of them, he kind of looks at his arm and kind of like, alright, all you need is slow down, and he's gonna cast slow on them. Should cast slow.
That one affects an area. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm place it where most likely mostly just the guards and everything, because it cleared all the way, because you cleared it. So I'm place it mostly with the guards are still remaining.
And they make a wisdom saving throw, which they are not good at, we have established. Wow, they've rolled the same roll each time on this. Okay. They
They
fail.
are slowed.
Okay.
They're slowed. They can't cast spells. They can only do an action, and that's it. And yeah, they're slowed. They have to repeat the saving throw because it's concentration.
Okay. And anything else on your turn?
He'll kind of just move kind of like back to the like away from the crowd and back to like the car, kind of like holding the spell, as he kind of just takes out kind of like, oh, he just holds out like kind of one of his little daggers as he uses that for blade chanting, just making it a little hard to hit. So I'm concentrating on something.
Garmin, you're up.
All day.
Well, round 2 of trying to persuade people. Bonus action, all eyes. Action, Zarman will look at the guard and say, form up, what's happening? Taking advantage of the fact that he kind of looks like a guard.
Okay.
Because I
Okay,
have the
okay,
background
okay, yeah.
feature, natural authority.
Yeah. All right. Yes,
Commoners and civilians,
okay.
but this is a stressful situation. That shit's going wild, so they probably want a leadership right now.
All right.
So I'd
me-
imagine persuasion check, leadership again, right?
Yep.
18.
They look to the side and then they go, things got really out of hand. They were destroying public property, blocking off the road. We tried to step in, and then the next thing you know, the crowd was closing in on us. We don't have enough people for this section of the road. We didn't think they were going to even be here.
Go back to your post, and we can deal with it later.
Okay. With that, let's see. Watches the guards kind of look at each other, and then they start to form up like more back to back, and start making their way down the street.
Very slowly because they're slowed.
Yeah, very slowly. And the crowd starts like booing at them as they like slow-mo walk their way down the street. A couple of the people start slow-mo walking next to them, pretending to like mock them as they do it, until they get out of range of it. The road is cleared still, and the people have gotten a wide berth. You are left to get back inside of your vehicles.
Yep.
You're able to coast off down the streets and make your way onwards towards the palace.
So she
Night is
probably,
only begun.
before we leave, she would just mention to Zaman, like, are you sure you don't want to at least say something so it doesn't look like we just cleared the path out to go to the ball?
Well, something tells me that beyond this point, it's not much gonna be help. As long as they're with a line of other people, it should be better for them.
Alright. Okay. She'll
So,
know.
snap his
Seems like they
fingers
jumped
and-
it. It seems like they left their post to go help stop destruction.
Mhm.
Something tells me it's gonna take a lot more than just a couple words to stop them from doing what they're doing.
Fair enough.
Probably something from the queen. And Zell would snap his fingers, and the glyph, like the giant glyph on the ground where the slow was taking place, will dissipate.
The car drives off down the streets. You see the crowds kind of mingle across the roads behind you. Fireworks are going off. The mobs disappear about a block or so away, and you're once more left with just the sounds of festivities and fireworks. He lets out an anxious sigh of relief and says, "People have been really angry in the city recently. Queen hasn't been anywhere to be able to say anything about it. I really hope that she says something tonight."
Ugh.
Yeah, we could. Oh.
So I'm going to flick off a little bit of ice from the shield he cast. Probably for everyone's better.
So I'm not used to a city this big, so bigger problems, I guess, but Honestly, anything I think of probably won't work. I'm not from Avale, so I really shouldn't mediate in any way.
There's enough people in that street to constitute the entire population of most of the villages you're used to seeing.
Yeah, it's just like
And I was just like mobbed into a single section of the street of one portion of Avale. It was quite a lot. As the crowds kind of loosen up a lot more as you get out of that and start making your way up towards the Garden District.
Zell kind of leans back in the seat a little bit, kind of rests his head against the glass a little bit. It's kind of like, well, whatever the case, it's definitely something needs to happen. Otherwise, Vox is just gonna get more stronger and stronger and stronger with people getting more recruited into them. And we've seen what Vox does when they have enough people to throw away.
I feel like we should separate. Just like how I clumped in the Ashfall together before realizing the problematic portion of it is kind of extremists. This is the same way. Somebody's manipulating their passion to do
To right the good.
More damage needed to be happening there.
Yeah.
And if you ask most people in Hearthvine and probably all of Avale, they just tell you that Vox is just the voice of the people. And if Vox sounds angry, then it's because the people are angry. You kind of get that.
I mean, that's the thing. When, at least from where I'm from, the leaders, there's not a lot of people, but it's more involved with the leaders. There just seems to be a huge wall between that. The people who make the laws here don't seem to be involved with the community. So, of course, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to looking out the window. I can't think.
you're
I'm
so-
feeling a little bit off right now.
Are they gun something, huh?
Don't get the mood put down too much, Hanu. We've still got a whole night of partying ahead of us.
This isn't about the mood. I've just been having a little bit weird sleep recently, so once I eat something, I'm probably gonna get, bounce right back up. No problem.
Any good
Nods, but
elsewhere?
still looks slightly concerned.
Zell kind of look out the window. He's like, "No, I know this separates. It's just whoever hired that engineer cared to much care that he was building something to wipe out an entire city. And so whoever is behind the extremists, well, they're definitely gonna be stopped. If they try to hardwire a time machine to make it into a bomb, I mean, we've seen the effect of it. You know what else they may do. Especially through all this chaos.
I still can't get over how strange it is that you guys actually traveled through time. You're from the past, and some of you are from even the future. It's just a lot to wrap your head around. Arthur just coming from the girl that can tell when a cat is stuck in a tree all the way on the other side of the city.
That is very important, I must say. Somebody needs to listen, even no matter how small the voice is.
Like I said, Vox is the voice of the people in one way, and I just hear the voice of the people in a different way.
Yeah.
Or I guess I can understand where they're coming from.
Exactly, which I guess puts us in a weird spot, because we are thrust into the limelight. We know nothing of the plight that they've had for all these years, but they at least need to look towards somebody to convince change to happen. Yet, in a way, who are we to say that the change we're trying to make is the right one for them? I just don't like people being manipulated, and somebody's manipulating them.
Our goal when we started all this, he kind of motions to the car and everything, is to fight back against them, which in our way we have to kind of play the game a little bit with the money and everything, but we're trying to do something, at least, I hope.
Yeah.
Dick kind of leans off the window and kind of leans a bit forward. The feast rights. Even though there's a lot going on, and there's probably could be a lot going on, we should enjoy ourselves.
Well, I'm curious.
The best we can do is learn.
She'll look over to Fee. I'm not too familiar with Malvalian history, but was there another time that there was a war going on? Where there was this huge division between the people and leadership?
Ooh, a couple of times. I'm not exactly a history expert myself, but I'm fairly certain that most of Avalian history has had some sort of story about nobles and commoners not getting along with each other. In fact, one of the things that's really come out in recent years has been, well, they call it the middle class. Rosemarie says it's where we live in. People that are able to get by somewhere in between, but I don't really know much about all of that.
I see. I'm just wondering, cause if not, I mean, if there's a specific name of somebody, I could try to commune with them to just see, you know? Things are written in history books, but learning from the direct source may give us an interesting angle on it, but I'm probably thinking many steps ahead.
That's a lot like you.
Yeah. Just keep my eye out if anything seems to perk a memory, or at least some kind of schooling. Like, that name sounds familiar, or what? Starts making gestures to her hands before, like, zoning out a little bit, looking at some of the animals that are probably just chilling and noticing some of the Coterie Coast animals nearby. Like, oh my god.
Ends up kind of Warren kind of saying it kind of deep in thoughts, kind of thinks back to thinking. It's still part of it.
I want to bring it all the way to the ball. I also think it might be a good time to call it until next time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're at the ball.
Sound.
You see the lights, the garden district and its beautiful estates going by, and you pull up along behind a long line of carriages and other Strauss-mobiles, finding your way up past the last mile or two to the palace itself. Great big bridge that crosses over Lake Arvale to the megalithic building of the Garden Palace. It's huge and cuts a silhouette across the moon that's rising over the horizon. And there are trees and vines growing off of all of its parapets, sort of trapped in this sort of eternal autumn and spring. The fruits on it growing despite the fact that it's winter and getting ready to turn into a new year. A firework explodes over the lake and lights up as your vehicle comes to a stop in front of it. And the doors open. There's flashing light bulbs from all of the cameras, from the newspapers in Arvale and from distant lands as well. And you can see through the light fading in your eyes, Prince standing just beyond the flashing camera lights awaiting you. And that is where we will pick up next time.
Cool.
Oh, I'm so excited. I miss playing.